where the icons talk.
All right. Welcome, guys, to This is a TV Football Edition. I'm your host, Dav. This is the third episode of this brand new thing that I've started, and it's still connected and brought to you by the mothership, the mother channel. This is a TV, Icon Talk on YouTube. You could head on over there and see some great content. All right. Before I go any further, I must pay tribute to the king of the Stretford end, Dennis Law, who we lost 2 days ago. And if you're a true Manchester United fan, you will know of Dennis's legendary status in this great community. He played for us for 11 years, 404 appearances, 237 goals. If I'm not mistaken, he's only third to Wayne Rooney and another great Manchester United legend, Charlton. All right. Don't quote me on that. Maybe you can. But again, condolences to the family of Dennis Law, king of the Stretford end. Condolences to the Manchester United community. Secondly, I must apologize for my lack of game review on the Southampton game. I did watch some of that game. I believe I watched the second half of that game, and I saw some highlights. I didn't think it was enough for me to give an informed opinion or analysis of the game, so I just decided to skip it. Plus, I had a bunch of other stuff going on. All right, let's get on to this game. Manchester United versus Brighton. Again, I think the team is in transition. It's a team that is, in my opinion, is showing a lot of great stuff, a lot of good improvements in some areas, but the old demon is still on our back, right? When I say the old demon, silly mistakes, elementary mistakes, elementary defending, elementary decision making. And as a coach, there's just so much that you can do to eliminate this without just completely eliminating the players that are at fault. All right. So let me start with the first half. Key takeaways from this game. The first half of this game is quite possibly one of the most brilliant first halves that I've seen in this league in a while. Now, you may think I'm going crazy. You may say, "What the hell are you saying, Dav?" Right? But hear me out. Do you guys realize that there was no corner kicks in the first 45 minutes? Zero, zilt, nada, none. All right? The game was just so midfield based, and there were duels going on all over that midfield. And the game was played within, I want to say, a 60, 70 yard compress of the pitch, right? And that allowed such little chances on either goal. And I'm going to get to the goal soon because I know that was scored early, but I just wanted to pay attention to how brilliant the game was within that 60-yard compress of the pitch. What we saw was Manchester United pressing a little bit higher than they usually do in any game, actually. Our high press in a snapshot moment is very evident in the 18th and the 33rd minute. If you were to take a snapshot of the game and just look at our press on defense, we were pushing way more players up. Usually you would see a one or two person press with the other players laying back. We pressed a little bit higher, and it is as a result of this press actually that Brighton got their goal in the 4th minute. And again, this is where I say a drop in concentration, because Brighton did to us what we've been trying to implement in our game unsuccessfully. And in fact, this was used against us by Southampton in the last game. we were pressing and we dropped off in the press for one moment. Xerxes, who was up top, did not press the central defender, right? Al- Alternately, at that very exact moment, um, Matthias de Ligt's mark dropped deep, and Matthias de Ligt followed his mark, right? That gave Mitoma an opportunity to run in behind Mazrari. And the Brighton defender with the ball at his feet put that ball perfectly into that space behind that the Ligt would have been covering if he had not pushed up tentatively to follow his mark, right? And that was a brilliant, brilliant play. And that wasn't just again. All right. I must say, Mazruri, I don't know if it's because of fatigue or what, but he's not been having the best game. The last few games has not been his best. All right. And what we spoke about in the first episode of Football Edition, the Manchester United team lacks pace. We are at a serious loss for pace. And it is evident every single time a ball is played behind our defenders. And not just in the defense. We lack genuine pace all around the pitch. I think the quickest players we have are Ahmad and Highland, right, who didn't even start today, Highland, that is. But it was a brilliant first half. And again, because of our high press, we got that equalizing goal from the penalty, because Ahmad was able to press high up onto the pitch, win that football, pass it into Xerxes, and Xerxes was fouled. All right. I would go on to say Xerxes was a player of the first half for me. He was good with his all up play, strong in possession. He was very unpredictable, right? So show a lot of his technical abilities and his skill. All right, and he pressed hard, and he was working right across the pitch, which is very excellent. I think that was his best game in a Manchester United shirt. Another thing that I wanted to pay attention to was Andre Onana. Now, Manchester United overall seems to be terrified of any kinds of crosses into the box. We are terrified at corner kicks. We're terrified at free kicks coming in from the flanks. We are terrified of players going down the flank and putting in crosses, aerial or on the ground or mid-level. It doesn't matter. We are terrified of crosses. And I think none more so than Andre Onana. The first goal, in my opinion, could have easily been claimed by Andre Onana. I'm sorry, not the first goal, the second goal, right? There's a comedy of errors, right? Again, the two things that I've been lamenting all season is our inability to cut or block crosses from coming in. Dalot made a feeble attempt at cutting out that cross from the Brighton player. And this is what we've been doing. And each time we allow those crosses to come into our area, it's just pandemonium, it's headache, it's problems, and we just insist on letting these crosses come in. So Dalot could have been tighter on that cross, but the minute that cross came in, there was no reason for Andre Onana to not come and claim that ball. And for some reason, he hesitated and let that ball go past him to the back post. All right. And I guess he just gave up the responsibility and the defender on the back post would have covered for him. Sadly, the goal came. I don't even need to comment on the third goal, because I probably could put my 7-year-old rather, into the net on that pitch, and she would have gathered that cross. So it goes without saying why that third goal was given up, and it lands squarely at the feet of Andre Onana. A couple of things, other things that I noticed was Bruno Fernandes was having one of those howlers of a game in general play. But on his set pieces, he was absolutely spot on today. He was absolutely spot on. We cannot convert set plays to save our lives. And that is another area that we really need improving on. However, I must say, we were getting more players into the box today and at the top of the 18 than I've ever seen this season. And I think it's a part of the progression of this team that we really need to give these guys, our boys, a chance at. But again, I think we are on the right track. We're showing better character. We're showing more composure, especially going forward. And again, Ahmad was class today, absolute class. We kept hitting him with those balls over the top. That's those long passes that Harry Maguire likes to play, and he's just fearless going forward. And it is only a pity that we don't have that matching influence on our left side of the pitch. If we could provide that double threat going forward, Ahmad on the right and someone of similar quality and confidence on our left, and present that double threat, I think our game will start coming together. Because what is very obvious now is that Garnacho has not progressed in terms of football intelligence. It is very obvious that Garnacho is very predictable. You know when he's about to go to the byline, and you know exactly when he's about to cut inside. In fact, you know when he's about to cut inside and go for goal, and you know when he's going to cut inside and attempt a feeble pass to another player. I don't know. For a player that showed so much promise, he has not pushed on, he has not kicked on, and it is really worrying and troublesome. I want to speak a little bit about Danny Welbeck. Danny Welbeck has 6 goals against Manchester United since he has left us. I would say close to 8 years ago, maybe 10, not quite sure. He has scored against us 6 times when he plays against Manchester United. Tonight, Welbeck was non-existent for up to 30 minutes in this game. For 30 minutes, we cut the supply chain into him completely. And if you hadn't seen his name on the team sheet, you wouldn't even have remembered that Danny Welbeck was on the game. In fact, he was so ineffective that they hauled him off in the 65th minute. And again, this for me is the kind of indicator that we were doing a lot of things right. Right? We got hard done, I believe, by that ball over the top, by one simple miscalculation and error in judgment by De Ligt, which allowed that ball to go into that lane that he would have been sitting in. And Mitoma exploited Mazrari for pace, and we got outdone by the 2 things that's been haunting us all season: our inability to cut out crosses and our inability to deal with that cross once it comes into the 18-yard area. All right. But, overall, I'm not going to apologize for the team. I'm not going to find excuses for the team. I am simply going to say it's work in progress. And while I'm not pleased with the outcome, I'm not all that upset about the nature of the game. I'm not all that upset about the tactics of the game. I'm not all that upset about the character that the team showed today. However, again, I am recognizing that this is work in progress. This is the start of a new era. A couple of the good things that I liked before I wrap this up is how positive Xerxes' performance was today. I was very impressed by how Ahmad just keeps kicking on, keeps going, and doesn't shrink from a fight or a challenge. And you see they had to switch out a left back on him because they recognized that he probably had run the first one into the ground. All right. I'm also happy with the defenders, the three at the back for the most part. Dallo again, while Dallo does a okay job for us in that position, I just think it may be time for us to reconsider other options as it relates to Diego Dallo. If we had a better or more creative player in that position, Diego Dallo was the recipient of 2 or 3 very good passes in that first half that, admittedly, he got closed down pretty quickly, but again, it's because of his lack of pace in going forward. And quite frankly, one of the calls against him when he was brought down at the top of the Brighton 18-yard box, that should have been a free kick. But I just think with someone with a little bit more craft, guile, and speed, we could have gotten some from another option in that position that Diego Dallo was. Anyway, folks, thank you for joining us again for another quick review and analysis. This is a TV football edition with your host Dav. Join us again midweek. We have Rangers coming up, and let's pray for a better outcome. All right. Have a beautiful Sunday. Catch you next time.